the shadows of my childhood, a sinister tale unfurled between the innocent ages of 4 and 9. This is but a glimpse of the horror that latched onto my young life. It was back in first grade, a time of fleeting innocence tainted by a dark and unseen force. As the school day waned, excitement pulsed through my veins at the thought of the candy cane party my teacher promised. Red and white danced in my thoughts. Red and white danced in my thoughts, the colors of celebration and innocence. Yet unbeknownst to me, they would soon be tainted by a malevolent presence. Upon my return home that fateful day, weariness clung to me like a suffocating shroud. The world of dreams beckoned, but this dream was unlike any other. Vivid and twisted, it thrust me into a nightmarish reality. In the dream, I arrived late to school, greeted by an unfamiliar classroom and the news of new assigned seats. In this macabre vision, I questioned a classmate about his peculiar attire, a sea of crimson covering his form. He affirmed he wore red and white, pointing to his red-stained shirt and then to his pale countenance. A shiver of unease gnawed at the edges of my mind. Morning arrived, painted in hues of ominous gray. My father overslept, and I found myself rushing to school, already tainted by an unseen dread. The teacher's words sent a chill down my spine as she revealed the reshuffling of seats. Dread twisted within me as I approached my designated place. The horror was rekindled when I beheld my new neighbor. Clad in a singular color, a deep, malevolent red. I mustered the courage to ask why, but his reply paralyzed me with fear. "I'm wearing red and white," he whispered ominously, pointing to the sanguine hue that engulfed him and then gesturing to his ghastly, pallid face. In that harrowing moment, I realized that something beyond the realms of comprehension was at play. Something sinister, disguising itself within the innocent facade of red and white, forever haunting the halls of my childhood. In the eerie depths of my childhood, when I was but a tender 5 or 6 years old, dread inhabited our shared room. My sisters and I, cloistered within those walls, bore witness to unfathomable horrors that no child should endure. Night after night, a harrowing ritual would unfold. My oldest sister and I would be ensnared by terror as we gazed upon ghastly apparitions. She, frozen in dread, would perceive a lady cloaked in white, her form hauntingly silhouetted in the doorway, her presence menacingly fixed before my trembling bed. My gaze, however, met a malevolent figure with crimson eyes, an ominous specter, lurking within the shadows of the closet. I could discern nothing but those piercing red eyes, searing through the darkness. A disembodied masculine voice would slither into the depths of my psyche, a beckoning whisper that taunted and chilled my young soul. "JJ, come to the closet and play," it would chant, a grotesque refrain that echoed relentlessly, tormenting my nights. Together, my sister and I sought refuge in each other's beds, cocooned beneath blankets until the salvation of dawn. This torment endured for months, an unrelenting nightmare etched into the fabric of our existence, until at last my father, moved by desperation, sought solace in a blessing, an attempt to cleanse our accursed abode. After that day, the figures retreated, swallowed by the darkness from whence they came. Now, at the age of 24, I have a family of my own, a wife and a newborn child. Yet, the phantoms of my youth have begun to revisit my slumber. In my dreams, I stand in my son's room, an unsettling déjà vu enveloping the scene. Those crimson eyes, a reflection of my own childhood horrors, fixate upon me from the closet. But this time, they speak, the voice unearthly, resonant, and foreboding. You didn't come play with me, but your son may be the one to play, it intones, sending shivers down my spine. Frightened and desperate for answers, I reached out to my father, revealing the haunting dreams that plagued my nights. To my astonishment, he recounted a chilling tale of his own. He too had encountered the same menacing figure as a child, those same red eyes haunting his past, and in a chilling revelation, he disclosed that the nightmare persisted even after my birth, as if passing the torch of malevolence to the next generation. The sinister legacy continued, a lineage steeped in an unspeakable, lingering terror. In the shadows of my home, an eerie silence haunts the air. I've performed the ancient blessings twice over, desperate to shield my son from the malevolent forces that lurk in the darkness. But fear gnaws at my heart, relentless and suffocating. I can only hope, with every fiber of my being, that he won't succumb to the allure of that accursed closet. A wicked presence resides within, hungering for innocence, waiting for a moment of weakness. I dread the thought that he might wander into that sinister abyss, vanishing into a realm from which no return is possible. The dread coils around me, a noose tightening as I grasp onto hope, teetering on the precipice of unimaginable horror. In the decrepit halls of my ancient dwelling, a torrent of unsettling events unfolded. Shadows danced their wicked waltz, and whispers crept through the frigid air. One haunting morning, I feigned illness, seeking solace within the confines of my eerie abode, craving escape from the terrors of the outside world. My mother, my only companion at home that day, toiled away in her chamber adjacent to mine, battling with the demons of cigarette addiction for her remote clients. As the clock's hands conspired to reach the 9th hour, an ominous sensation engulfed my senses, an unshakable feeling of being surveilled. In the dimly lit room, I believed it was my mother, her watchful eyes ensuring my well-being. Yet, a mere heartbeat later, I heard her voice resonate from her secluded workspace. Panic clawed at my throat as I cast aside my blanket, revealing an empty room, empty except for the lingering certainty that an intruder lurked in the shadows. In the realm of ghostly encounters I had previously endured, I chose the path of silence, a passive witness to the supernatural. However, this night, a newfound courage surged within me. Slowly, I sat upright, staring into the gloom, daring whatever entity haunted this realm to reveal itself. The feeling of being watched persisted until, with reluctance, I rose from my bed, only to be greeted by an eerie symphony, a cacophony of breaths, undeniably human. Attempting to rationalize the disconcerting sounds, I attributed them to the creaking of the floorboards or the rustle of sheets disturbed by my movement. Yet, the phantom breaths grew in volume, mocking my feeble attempts at normalcy. Panic gnawed at my resolve, when realization struck. An invisible entity was concealed beneath my bed, its breaths echoing malevolence. Summoning every ounce of courage, I lifted the mattress, dreading what awaited me. The breathing, once forceful, now seemed to hush, attempting to veil its sinister presence. To my horror, there was naught. A chilling void beneath the bed, devoid of life or form. Still, the disconcerting breaths persisted, haunting the chamber like an echo of death. In a desperate bid to escape this otherworldly malevolence, I retreated downstairs, seeking refuge in the familiar tales of Scooby-Doo. The phantom breaths haunted my memory, a chilling secret I dared not share, yet etched forever in the corridors of my mind. A spectral mystery never unveiled, forever lingering in the shadows of my old haunted home. In the darkness of a few years ago, during the very time when my haunting tale unfolded, within the same accursed house, the horror began to unfold. The night was colder than a crypt, even in the sweltering summer of Florida. As I stirred from my slumber, the biting chill gnawed at my bones, despite the usually oppressive heat. The air vent in my room, typically a lifeline of comfort, was still and lifeless. In the eerie silence, I heard the ghostly murmurs of my older brother, engaging with a relic of the past, the PlayStation 3. Intrigued, I sought to join him in this nocturnal escapade. Yet, as I arose from my bed, an unholy sensation slithered across my neck. A creeping dread began to consume me, but I dismissed it as a passing discomfort, a grave mistake that would soon haunt my every waking moment. I instinctively swiped my hand across my neck, attempting to alleviate the unsettling sensation. Little did I know, my reality was about to descend into the abyss. My neck erupted in a frenzy of tingling, as if a horde of spiders had chosen my flesh as their wretched playground. My palm held a grotesque concoction, a nightmarish amalgamation resembling the vile venom symbiote, infested with repugnant roaches. Terror overcame me, and a shriek of horror tore through the stillness of the night. My brother, oblivious to the unholy transformation occurring before him, demanded an explanation. My voice trembled, barely able to articulate the terror that had befallen me. "Take it off, please," I managed to utter in a panicked plea. Bewildered, he inquired. "Take what off your hand?" My pleas grew more desperate as I screamed, "Take it out of my hand." In a courageous act of intervention, my brother reached for the malevolent nothing that plagued my trembling hand. Suddenly, the grotesque entity vanished into thin air, leaving only the lingering stench of fear and bewilderment. Tears streamed down my face, my very being scarred by the unfathomable ordeal. Hours dragged on like an eternity. My mind grappling with the horrors I'd witnessed, I absent-mindedly scratched my neck, discovering a grim revelation. The upper back portion of my shirt had been torn away, as if by the gnarled hands of a malevolent force. A mere child of 5. I pondered how such a frail form could commit such an act of malevolence. The shadows retreated, leaving no traces of the hand, rotting darkness, or swarming roaches. Yet, the dread remained. An unsolved mystery. A reminder of the darkness that lurked within those cursed walls.